ask us all the time, what do you guys get into arguments about?
Well, today we're going to talk about a big one.
Hey, what's up, family? I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are
Two Crazy Ketos. And if you're new to our channel, welcome. Here on Two Crazy Ketos, we do different things like recipe videos and we do product reviews. We talk about various keto topics, and every Monday we go live on Keto Beyond the Couch because life exists beyond the couch.
You can find us in different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
And we have a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you're going to find all of our different recipes. Now, we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you subscribe to our channel.
And don't forget to hit the little bell icon, and that way, every single time we put them up, you'll be alerted to it.
Hey, listen, couples argue, right?
Yes.
I mean, you get into disagreement over it. Sometimes it's you're sleeping on my half of the bed.
You're operating the toothpaste tube incorrectly.
Sometimes it's she's taking up all the
You're
elbow room.
on my armrest.
But that is not one of the big disagreements and arguments that we have in this house. And not just with each other, but with our children too.
Yes, we argue the most about ice. We do. Is this a problem in your household, or is it just a problem in our household? Because ice is a thing. Maybe it's because we live in South Florida, or maybe we are just people who like colder than average drinks. I don't know what it is.
Well, and maybe it's because there's a mom and one son who takes their glass and fills it all the way with ice, and then there's no ice left for anybody else.
Sometimes there's a gentleman who only uses giant glasses. So even though you're only filling up just once or twice a day, it takes like the entire refrigerator's worth of ice to fill your glass for the day.
So we're having a little bit of fun with this, but yes, ice is a big thing in our house, and we need a lot of it. And
Yes.
because we need a lot, we not only have an ice maker in our refrigerator, we actually have 2. We have one that makes these, and then we have one that makes balls.
Yeah.
The problem with the ball ones, although they last a lot longer,
You don't get a lot of them.
it makes 6 a day.
That's not enough.
It's just, especially when generally one person wants at least 3 or maybe 4 in their glass.
There's 4 people in this house. So basically you get 1 ball a day and then save the rest for future investments? Like, I don't think so.
Yeah, so we rely on like countertop ice makers. And in the past, this is what we've been using.
Yes.
And it's not bad. We bought it at like Best Buy. You can buy them on Amazon. Listen, they all have different names, but they're the same exact ice maker.
Any port in a storm.
And we use this in our house, and we also use it in our RV, Eleanor. But there are a few problems with this thing.
A few.
First of all, it's very loud.
It is very loud.
You hear the compressor running. You hear it every time it dumps ice. It's like...
Yes.
And also, the ice, though it's giving you ice, is very, very wet.
You have to play beat the clock. You have to be listening out for ice cubes to drop and then race to get those ice cubes into your glass before they start melting.
Now, there is another issue with this machine, and I think it's actually an important issue. Even if you're okay with it being loud, which we have been,
Right.
and you're okay with the wet ice, which we have been, there is another thing that's really come to my attention the last few times we've gone camping, and that is cleaning it. And I'm not talking about cleaning the outside.
Right.
I'm talking about cleaning the inside. So if you take a look inside of it, you've got this basket here, and what happens is it puts the ice in here, and then you take that, and that's how you get your ice. But the way this works is in here, you have a reservoir, and you fill this reservoir with water up to the water line, and then it takes the water, pumps it from the bottom up into the top, and then puts it in the basket. But if you take a look inside of here, you can see like little black dots. If I move this filter, you might actually see even more. Take a look at that.
It's gross.
The dirt piles up in the bottom, like maybe sediment that was inside of the water itself. And then also you get the building up of mildew and bacteria. And there is no easy way to clean this unit.
And it's got a lot of nooks and crannies. So despite your best effort, I feel like it's like dealing with some of the toddler cups out there where you have cleaned every little nook and cranny, and then you find some other little corner or edge that you just haven't been able to clean out. And it worries me that we're just ingesting mildew.
So today, we're gonna review a new ice maker that we found. One that hopefully will eliminate a lot of those problems. And we're gonna start off with, it's actually a better type of ice.
So I try not to be too bougie about my ice cubes, okay? I just want a cold drink, right? That's the end result. I want the end result, cold drink. So whatever, if it's balls, if it's wet ice cubes, like I will deal with it for a cold drink. But given my choice, this is the type of ice.
Nugget ice.
Nugget ice. It's a little bit closer to that old like hush puppy, slush puppy ice that we would get at the gas station. This is the good gas station ice, like the gas station that you would go out of your way to go to because the fountain soda is going to have this type of ice.
So we've actually wanted an ice maker that makes this kind of ice ever since our church introduced one at the coffee bar like 3 years ago. And then we started researching and they were super expensive.
Yeah.
So enter in our new ice maker.
Yay!
And today we're gonna review this ice maker. Now, I'm sure I'm going to pronounce this wrong.
Oh, definitely.
I apologize to you guys, and I apologize to the company. It's spelled Fohere. So I'm gonna go Fohere?
No, it's Fohere. Because you want to ask, like, where is this ice maker for? It's Fohere. Here, right here in Coconut Creek, Florida, because this is faux me, because it's Fohere.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about this ice maker. Now, I do want to make a full disclosure. The company did reach out to us and ask us if we would be interested in reviewing / highlighting this ice maker on our channel. And since we have been looking for one, we did agree to it. However, they have no say in what we say in this video. And they also don't get to preview the video before we release it. So everything is our honest opinion about the ice maker. And we'll go over all of the pros and cons, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, towards the end of the video. And I'm going to leave a link for it down below, which you can actually purchase it on Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to say right off the bat, I do like the layout of it. It kind of looks like a mini microwave.
It does.
Now, let's grab the other ice maker real quick and just kind of give a comparison in size. So that is definitely a little bit of a downside, even though we're going to talk about more of them later on. This one isn't as tall, so it's definitely going to fit under your counter, but it's almost twice as wide.
Right.
And they're about the same depth. So it is going to take up more of a footprint on your countertop.
This reminds me of like an ice cream compressor style machine.
So let's go over a few of the features that I noticed when I was looking at it before we even agreed to doing a review on it. First of all, it has a drawer out here that does all of your ice. So all of your ice is going to go into here, and it has like an insulated front on there that's supposed to keep the ice longer and not as wet.
I like that right away because it's not just a basket sitting in the water. So I'm thinking right away we're going to have drier ice that is going to be able to be transferred into our cup without watering down our beverage.
Yeah, because one thing about the other machine is it's in a basket which is removable, but it's already dripping, and that basket doesn't hold a tremendous amount of ice. Now, the outside is all made of stainless steel and plastic, and then up here in the top is your water reservoir, and immediately you're gonna notice we have something that the other one doesn't have, and that is it's going to be easy to clean that.
It's very easy to clean it. It's not got a lot of grooves or, nooks and crannies that I can't get into, which I really appreciate.
And you can immediately open up this top to put water in and go, oh, there's some mildew built up in there. Let me go ahead with the rag. It also does have a little filter piece here that is easily taken out to make sure that stuff isn't going down into your pump. So you have a nice big water reservoir up here, which holds 3 quarts, and we're actually gonna turn on the unit in a minute and check out the noise level, and then also see how much it holds. And then over here on the side, when you do wanna drain it, let's say you wanna store it, or for example, us, like if we take it on our RV at the end of the day, at the end of the trip, we wanna drain it out. You don't have to take the unit and turn it upside down. It's got 2 drain plugs right here. And the reason it has 2 is because you have an upper reservoir, and then you also have a lower reservoir in the bottom. Now, the other thing that this unit does have is it has a self-clean feature.
Which is pretty amazing. The other one does not have that feature.
Yeah, so what you do is you basically fill up the top and you fill up the bottom reservoir, and you press the self-clean feature, and it runs water through it, and it's gonna clean out the system.
That makes me feel really good, and that's something that I'm gonna do when we, take it in the RV. It's just, we've got natural pauses in our week where I can remember to go ahead and just have this thing clean itself out.
Well, let's go ahead and test this unit out. Now, we have been using it for a couple days because when you get it in the mail, they tell you do not turn it on for 24 hours because shipping, they may put it upside down. You have to have all the refrigerant fall back into the right place. So we did unbox it, and I filmed myself unboxing it, and pretty much it was a simple unboxing. It came in a cardboard box, and you simply opened it up, and there was some really good styrofoam packing in there. Along with the instructions, you simply pull it out, take off the little pieces of tape that were holding like the door on and holding the drawer in so it doesn't fall out, and you're good to go. And then again, they tell you to immediately run the clean feature to kind of get everything through it.
I do think that it is visually a beautiful appliance, and that does matter. It's going to take up space on my countertop, so I don't want it to be ugly, and I appreciate their care in packaging it so that it comes nice without like a bunch of dents on it.
Yep. So you want to go ahead and fill this unit up.
Now, we usually do use our filtered water that we filter at home.
So each one of these bottles is a liter. And they say that this thing, I believe, holds 3 quarts of water. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill this up all the way. And again, I've already run the clean cycle. We have had it run for a little while and been trying it for a couple days to check out the quality. And now what we're gonna do is, one thing I wanted to test is how long does it take to fill up that basket? Now, there is a max line on here, and you can see as Rachel dumped in the water, we did exceed the max line, but that's okay if you accidentally overfill it because there's a little drain hole over here on the side, and what it's doing right now is it's draining water below that max line into the lower reservoir.
Which is really cool.
So you don't have to really worry about overfilling it as much. So we're gonna go ahead and put the top on.
Put your top on.
We're gonna plug this unit in. And then all you gotta do is press the power button, and that is good. So you have a couple buttons here. You have a snowflake, that means it's making ice right now. Then there's a one over here that will light up. That's gonna tell us that we're cleaning it. And then this one here with the little recycle bin, that'll light up red. And when it lights up red, it's gonna tell you that the basket is full. The other one over here is got like a little drop with a caution symbol. That means it needs water. So that's telling you it needs water. So as this is running, you can immediately tell this one isn't as loud as the other machine.
We can have ice and also go to sleep.
Okay, so I've unplugged the machine for a minute because I want to do a really good test. Right. I want to see how long does it take for this basket to fill up, because according to the documentation online, this unit will make 35 pounds of ice per day.
Which will save a marriage.
That will definitely save our marriage.
Possibly.
Now, it does say that the basket will hold up to 5 pounds of ice, and that it will begin to make ice within 5 minutes of turning the unit on. And that can actually be shortened a little bit if you're using cold water. I mean, we're using room temperature water.
Right.
So when you first turn it on, it is going to take a little bit longer to get it going because it's got to get that water cold. But if you're using colder water, in my experience with all of these ice machines, it will produce it a little bit quicker. So what we're going to do is I've got the unit here. I turned it off. I've got my stopwatch. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn this on and we're going to see how long does it take for it to fill up the basket. Not just make ice, but actually fill up the basket.
Okay. We're a minute in.
Okay, so we are 1 minute and 42 seconds in, and it is already dropping ice. So it almost seems like it's dropping little chunks of ice, like one every 1 to 2 seconds.
Which I actually really like because I think you're going to be able to fill up a glass a lot quicker than waiting for those 9 ice cubes to drop.
And again, I definitely think it's quieter because it's not as distracting with those little pieces dropping. And right now it's dropping into an empty plastic bin. So I'm sure as that basket fills up, it would be even quieter. And the machine itself isn't nearly as loud as the other one. I won't really know until we start editing this video, like how much it's interfering with the audio. But again, that was part of the things that we wanted to check. I mean, we have a microphone literally right here, pointed at the machine. So this would be like worst case scenario. Okay, so the basket's full, the red light came on. I was actually taking a shower, so we're gonna say give or take 5 minutes of how long it took to fill the basket.
Right.
When I hit my stopwatch, I came out, it's 1 hour and 54 minutes, and that was to go from having warm water in here to a full ice basket where it's no longer producing ice. Let's take a look at how much ice we have in here. I figure we'd do this. We got a bowl because I don't think you can really tell with the basket, like how much ice you actually have.
No, it's the pretty ice.
Now, as soon as you have this, so long as there's still water up in there, which it does look like there is some water in there, this will start making ice again. So we'll finish that in a second. But then also I figured, yes, you have this, but you still can't tell really how much there is. So let's
use a scoop.
Scoop and fill up like how many, because here's the thing. When Rachel has ice, she fills her glass all the way.
This may be enough for somebody, but not me.
Let me know down in the comment section, like when you get a glass, how much ice do you put in the glass? For me, I want enough for it to get cold, but I don't want to like water down my drink, and I want to save ice for other people.
I don't want to save ice for other people. I want it all for me. And we live in South Florida. I think that makes a big difference also. So you put ice in your glass in South Florida, go out and get in the pool, and this stuff's going to melt very quickly. So
okay, I'm pretty impressed.
Pretty impressed.
We filled up a mason jar close to the way Rachel would fill it up.
Yeah.
Maybe, okay, we'll
little
say,
less.
I would say
that's accurate.
That's a normal Rachel thing.
Yes.
And look at how much ice we have left over.
Enough for Joe to have some also.
Now, one thing I was curious about with this machine was what is the quality of the ice as far as like the nuggets, which I'm pretty happy with.
I love this size.
But I also wanted to know, like, will it stay like this kind of a texture, or does it get like really wet very quickly? Because one of my problems with the other machine is it was immediately wet. It melted super quick. As soon you had to like get it out of the bin as soon as it dropped a few in there.
And I cannot revolve my life around the ice maker. I had gotten into the practice of as soon as I heard it drop, I was almost like the animals when we shake the food bag. Yeah. I would have to run to it. Otherwise, you were getting melty ice.
Yeah, because the ice would quickly begin to melt. And one of the things about this machine is they claim that it has like a triple layer insulation and that this front on the drawer itself is also like double layered insulated, and that it's supposed to actually at an 80-degree ambient temperature maintain 80% of the ice after 3 hours, meaning that if you just took this, put it in the drawer, turned off the machine, in 3 hours you would have 80% left. So I did a little test, and last night when we went to bed, I turned off the machine. Actually, it was before we went to bed, around 7:30, 8 o'clock. I turned it off, And when I got up this morning
Still
and
ice?
came out to the kitchen at 8 a.m., the basket was probably about 3/4 full.
That is impressive because that would not happen at all. You'd have no ice left if that was using our other machine.
Now, it was like a very wet ice, like a slushy ice, and it was becoming like one big ball.
But something.
But there was still ice in there where you could have taken that and thrown it into your mason jar.
I definitely think it has to do with the insulation, especially this front door closure that's just got a much thicker sealant on it.
So let's talk about the pros and cons of the Fohere ice maker.
Fohere.
And I think we'll start off with the cons, and the biggest con is definitely going to be the elephant that's in the room.
And that is, it is as big as an elephant in a room. Or an elephant in an RV, because we're going to have to bring this into the RV.
Yeah.
And space is a commodity.
It's definitely larger than our old ice maker, and when I look at it side by side, width-wise, it takes up twice as much room as the old one. But on the positive side of that, it's not as tall,
right?
Which means it's going to fit under more countertops. Like one of the problems with our other one is it barely fit under the countertop, but then when you wanted to get ice, you had to pull it out so that the door on top could be able to be utilized. So that's kind of a positive, but largeness is definitely the biggest con. The next one I would say is both a pro and a con, and that is the price.
Yeah, because this isn't as cheap as the one that we originally purchased for the RV.
Yeah, so the regular ice maker that a lot of people have been utilizing until like nugget ice makers really came on the scene is that one that we had from Best Buy. And again, there's lots of different brands. If you go on to Amazon, they're all the same thing pretty much, maybe slightly different design, but they all do the same thing. They all last the same, which in my experience was maybe a year.
Right.
And they all sell for about $100. This machine at the time that we are recording it is selling for $299 on Amazon. But again, at the time that we are recording this video, there is currently a $60 off coupon made for it. So that brings it down to $240. So more than twice the cost of the old ice maker.
However, that is much less than the ice maker that they got at church that I really wanted. Because again, I'm not just looking for quantity of ice. I'm also looking for the type of ice. And I really like this style of ice. And the one that we originally looked at purchasing, which was the one that they had at the church, was like over $500.
Yeah, so the original one that kind of started this all was the GE Opal. The GE Opal has a couple of different models out there. The one, it's like the GE Opal 2, is currently selling for like $550, though it does have like a side tank and it has Wi-Fi. I don't understand why you need Wi-Fi for your ice maker, but that's another story. But even the base GE Opal machine, which makes nugget ice, is currently selling for $400 on Amazon. So now we're $160 cheaper than the GE Opal. But there are other companies out there that have kind of done knockoffs of the GE Opal on Amazon. And when we compare this one to those where they're making nugget ice, they're falling in roughly the same price range of between $200 to $300. However, those actually are bringing in the same problem we have with the other one is it's got the reservoir where the water is on the bottom, and now there's no easy way to clean it.
Yes, because I can't get around the fact that it's dirty. I'm just ignoring it like it's not happening, but it does irk me.
For me, I think the extra $20 to $40, maybe $60 is worth the cleaning aspect of this. The fact that this has a self-cleaning feature and that the water is up on top and the water reservoir is on top, that I can easily get in there, clean it out, and there's no cracks and crevices that I can't clean unless I'm using like a toothpick and a Q-tip. Next up, I would definitely say for a pro would be it's quiet. It's much quieter than the old machine. The compressor is a little bit quieter than the compressor on the other machine, but then you also don't have that constant clanging of noise every time that machine cycles where it gets even louder and then you hear the dropping of the ice. This doesn't have it. You basically have that one constant like sound background noise of the compressor running, but it's not like a revving up and revving down like the other one has.
Well, I can have this on when Peyton stays over. Like, but if it's nap time, we can't have ice. There's another situation where it's the thud of that ice and that other ice maker is like, it alarms you.
Next pro would definitely be the amount of ice that it makes and how fast it makes ice. Again, we got 5 pounds of ice in less than 2 hours, and that was using warm room temperature water. And again, the more you use it, as that ice is constantly there and it's kind of dripping down into the reservoir, which is pumping back in, the water gets colder and then it makes it even faster. So this machine also makes more ice over a 24-hour period of the other machine.
Let's be honest. In the past, we were getting 9 ice cubes every 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Basically, no 2 people could have a drink at the same time.
And the last positive I would definitely say is the ice itself, the quality ice. Listen, I know it sounds bougie, but I like nugget ice. When I go to racetrack, I want the crushed ice. I want the nugget ice. I don't want the big giant things. I want crushed ice. I want to be able to open up the top and take the ice and put it in my mouth and not break teeth. I like crushed ice on a refrigerator, but I don't let anybody use it because it uses more ice.
I either have no ice, wet ice, or balls. And I mean, as much as I like our refrigerator, those balls are too big. Like, they're not the right size either.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really like the type of ice that this puts out, and I like that this basket keeps it dry.
Yeah, the fact that you've got the triple insulation on the body, the double insulated door, it's keeping the ice drier, if that's a thing. I mean, dry, I mean, we're not talking about dry ice, but drier ice that's not wet and sitting in water. And as soon as you put it into your beverage, it's like already melty. I definitely like the way this is keeping it because you're basically going to have ice longer. So all of that to me makes it really worth it. And I am really, really happy with the unit overall, even with like you're looking at the price tag of double the price of the other type of machine and the size. If I'm getting ice that's going to prevent us from having arguments over ice, it's probably money well spent.
Definitely.
So that is going to be the end of this video. Again, I will leave a link for this ice maker down below in the description. Like I said, at the time that we're recording it, there is currently a $60 off coupon.
I like coupons.
Let us know down in the description. Is ice like a sore subject in your house? Do you have arguments with significant others, children, parents, over who's using all of the ice? Do you need to have multiple ice makers in your house like we do? Let us know down in the comment section. Now, if you like seeing videos like this, take a look at some of the videos we have linked right over there. Also, make sure you take a look at my most recent videos I'm gonna put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon, and that way every single time we fight it out, you'll be alerted to it.
Till next time.
Bye.